Welcome to Sabrina's Craft-nanigans. Just wanted to give y'all one more little Halloween fun. This is Jack and Sally, or better yet, Jev and Ashy, my daughter and her boyfriend's little door decor for their new little apartment. All I did was take 2 pumpkins from the Dollar Tree that were the same exact. I popped those little pumpkins off, save them for later. You know, we can't ever throw anything away. Got to make sure we sand all that glitter off, because yeah, we don't want glitter and we don't want that paper either. Best way to get that paper off is to spray it, let it soak, and then after it's soaked for a few minutes, take your paint scraper, putty knife, whatever you want to call it, and scrape as much as you can off. If you can't get all of it off, then spray it down, let it sit again, and there you go, all nice and pretty. Then we want to make sure they're, of course, dry. You can tell as soon as they're dry, they start turning that lighter shade of brown, because you don't want to wet when you go to paint them. So I'm just making sure both those guys are dry. Now, as you can see, I forgot to hit record, and I cut the top of one of the pumpkins off. So what I did is I took that little turntable that I got from the Dollar Tree Plus section, because it was nice and round, and then I just took my box cutter X-Acto thingy and just traced around the edge of that to cut that off, and it popped right off, being that MDF particle board stuffs. And so I just made sure I got the stem part and the whole part off. So that's going to be Jack's head up at the top. And then the bottom one with the stem is going to be Sally's head. No, not Jack and Sally, Jev and Ashy. And we're going to paint Jack's head with white Waverly. And we're going to paint Sally's head, or Ashy's head, with the pool color. But then once I started doing it, it was too light of a blue. So after I get the pool by Waverly on, I then take Parrot Blue by Apple Barrel, and I used that and sponged it over while it was still wet, and that kind of blended it together. But you'll see here in a few minutes I'm not too fond of that either, because it didn't blend very well. I wanted it one solid color, but you could still see the streaks in it. Now if I wanted an ombre color, that would have looked great, but not what I was going for. So here's Jack taking the white Waverly on this one, and he's going to get about 2 or 3 coats. Say hello to Moose nosing in over there. Moose, you know, always the busy little bee helper here, Helpy Helperton, walking across, getting it all over his black fur. Anyway, and I'm going to also making sure that I get around all the way around the edges on that, and in between the bumps of what was the pumpkin. And I'm just using sponge brushes for this, just to make sure that I don't leave too many brush marks and things like that, because I don't like the brush marks left in it. So sponge brush, daubing, painting, and yeah, I gave him about 2-3 coats. He looks good, I'm good. Now the white, you can see that it didn't totally blend, so this time I took the pool and that Parrot Blue, mixed it together first, and I'm giving it one more layer. Actually, I think I gave it 2 more, and I dried them in between, of course, and I'm liking this a whole lot better. That's the good Sally color from Nightmare Before Christmas. I am happy with that one. The reason for this is because my oldest daughter absolutely is fascinated and in love with Nightmare Before Christmas, so I wanted to make them this little sign, and I figured they could keep it up now, and then we could put a little Santa hat on Jack, and she could even keep it up through Christmas. Anyway, back to what I'm doing here. I lined those up how I wanted them, then I took a Sharpie and I traced the back of that so I knew where to put my glue. And I'm adding the wood glue from Dollar Tree, which is great, amazing stuff, and then outlining it with some hot glue, trying to be careful not to mix them all together, don't want to cancel them out, and then laying it right back on top where I traced it out, so I knew that that's where I wanted it. And then just took all my paint brushes and set it on top, let it dry overnight. Now, I forgot to record. I was looking at a picture on Pinterest, and I traced it out with a pencil. You can see the lips down there on Sally where I kind of started tracing it out. I forgot. I hand drew that. Yes, I was pretty proud of myself. As long as I have a picture to look at, I'm kind of okay. Admitting I'm not perfectionist, but kind of okay. So what I did first was I traced it out with pencil the way I like it, because we can always erase. And then after I finished tracing it out with pencil, I took a black paint marker, and I also kind of used my Sharpie to outline everything. Then once I outlined everything with my black paint marker, it was a Posca, you can kind of see it up there in the corner by my wipey. Then I kind of went back over everything and painted it with the black chalk paint that Dollar General has out now. It wasn't too bad. And then did all that over again in black. And then, of course, Sally's lips there. I'm using the Imperial Red by Folk Art Home Decor to paint her lips. Nice, pretty red color. And I've got this sped up a whole bunch, guys. I really did this very, very slowly. Now, once everything had dried the next day, I went back over with my Posca paint marker and also my Sharpie because that started to run out. And I outlined the edges. Since I had painted it, I got outside the lines just a little tiny bit. So then going it back over and tracing the edges with my paint marker. Sorry about my big head and my, stripe down the middle of my head there. And then I just kind of re-outlined everything with the marker just to make sure you couldn't see all my brush marks, and especially on their lips and their stitching on their mouth. I wanted to make those a little bit thicker as well. So I go in a little bit deeper and darker and thicker on those. And then eyelashes, kind of made a mess with the eyelashes when I was painting them with the small paintbrush. I probably should have used a smaller paintbrush, but you know how it goes. If you can't tell, I've kind of got the crud and I've been down for quite a while. So I'm so upset because I couldn't get into the what would you make collaboration tonight. And I was just so sad. So anyway, this is about the only thing I could post because I wanted to make sure to get a video out today for you guys. But as you can see, I'm going back over her lips and stitching as well. I do go around her mouth, and you don't see it right here, but I do go through the middle of her mouth, of her lips, so you can see the two top lip and bottom lip. I don't think I do it right here, but I do get it done. See, there she is. Put a couple stitches on her head as well, and gave Jack some little eyebrows. I didn't record any of this either. This was a piece off a Halloween sign, and I painted it. I used my Cricut to do Jev and Ashy, and then glued a heart on it. Took some red ribbon, attached that to the bottom of Sally's head, and there you go for Jev and Ashy. Love it. Love y'all.